Is Jim Ross on the show today?
Not that I'm aware of.
Dang.
I hope you like this song because when you play Oklahoma, you're going to hear a lot of it. They just play it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. But the path has been paved for not only that song, but this one as well. I mean, if we
preferred the eyes of Texas there, to be honest.
Oh, I can make that happen as well. We can get to that in just.
I thought that song got canceled.
No, they'd let the news cycle play out and then kept playing it. Yeah.
I did love the resurfacing, by the way, of the edit from American Hustle, where if Bradley Cooper's busts into that room and they're all celebrating, but
I'll kiss his boo-boo!
Yeah.
I'll kiss his boo-boo!
And they put the Texas A&M logo on Louis C.K.'s chest, and he's all beat up and sad. And turn on the radio, and it's Ross Bjork saying, "We joined the SEC to stand alone."
Of Texas are upon you all the live long day. I don't think everybody realizes this is I'm working on the railroad ripoff, but oh well.
Yeah, no, it's okay. If we're grading the new entrance into the SEC based on bands, Texas wins in a runaway.
It's a shame their team can't do that.
Well, that's okay.
It's great.
Oh, yeah. Texas and OU, their entrance into the SEC has been moved up 1 year. Instead of July 1, 2025, it will now be July 1, 2024. The Longhorns and Sooners have finalized an agreement with the Big 12, as well as its television partners, to exit the league 1 year earlier than scheduled. Under the agreement, the schools will join the SEC in July of 2024 in time to participate in the 2024 football season. What does that mean? That means OU and Texas in the SEC in 2024. That means Southern Cal and UCLA in the Big Ten in 2024. And that means the start of a 12-team college football playoff for the 2024 season. Yeah, that's a lot of good.
Yeah. This year's going to feel weird. I mean, in a good way, I suppose, but everything after this year's kind of getting blown up, right? The schedule's getting blown up. And despite, like, On3 today ran a graphic that had the new SEC divided into divisions and said, could Texas and Oklahoma change the East and the West? And it had, like, a dividing line. And it's like, you're a publication that's supposed to cover college football. You know it's not going to be divisions anymore. What are you doing? But either way, college football playoff is expanding. The SEC is expanding, and the schedules are getting blown up next year. So this year's going to feel weird when the end starts the beginning.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure, though, SEC Media Days in 2024 is in Dallas.
I don't know that has been announced yet.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that's like, it's rumored, it's a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But I think that is likely where it ends up. By the way,
what a fortuitous thing.
Is that fortuitous, huh?
Serendipitous.
There is some discussion. There has been some exploration of, and this actually would be good for us, I think. There's been some talk about when SEC Media Days goes to Nashville, kind of changing it up and trying to create more of an NFL draft light environment. I don't know if they can pull it off, but instead of doing SEC Media Days that start at 8:30 in the morning and, you know, they run till whatever, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, instead of doing that, doing SEC Media Days primetime.
In terms of attention, that makes more sense. What are people doing at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday? What are they doing? They're working. What are people doing at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday? Not working anymore.
They got to get them in earlier for interviews. I don't want to miss out on steak dinners and stuff. I can't deal with that.
You have a steak breakfast.
I mean,
Steak
our
is
show
breakfast.
would still
This
end
is
at 6
America.
o'clock, I think.
Yeah, but if nobody's coming in, when are we getting the interviews?
Kind of work.
I would hate it if you had to work on a work trip.
I do work on a work trip. I'm just saying this screws up the relaxation part of it.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, you can sleep late now. Hey, Dad. It's kind of your thing anyway, right?
You made the joke about sleeping late. Shut up.
By the way, this is my favorite thing that the Texas band does.
So I thought that was Kansas State.
Kansas State do that too.
Yeah.
You know what Kansas State doesn't have? They
Like
don't have the
a
dance team
800-person
in the,
band.
No, they don't have the dance team in the leather chaps.
Is that the thing where they
Well,
rock
yeah.
back and forth? Well,
Maybe.
The band, yeah, like the band alternates
yes.
while they're playing.
Kansas State does that. Like Hey Dad said, I went to a Fiesta Bowl where Kansas State was playing in, and their entire side was doing that. Every fan, and you could feel the stadium rocking. You could feel it rocking back and forth. It was awesome.
So
As
going
part
back
of-
to what you said earlier about Oklahoma playing Boomer Sooner, are you excited for the first Oklahoma versus Tennessee game?
We've seen
Boomer
that
Sooner,
in
Rocky
recent
Top.
years, though.
Yeah, I know, but we now we're really going to get to focus in on it.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I was at a wedding in Nashville filled with Tennessee fans, and it was out on this horse farm or what? Horse farm.
Ranch?
A ranch would be a more appropriate term. Outside of Nashville, just beautiful rolling hills, stunning venue. They repurposed a barn, and it was beautiful, and the wedding was amazing. And there was nobody in the reception because it was nobody in there. And I was in the wedding party, so we got to the reception late. We walk in, and there's just nobody in there. It's like, where the heck is everybody? You go around back, and 3 phones are set up on the tables, and the entire wedding is watching Tennessee get beat by Oklahoma that night. That was the Baker Mayfield flag plant.
Baker Mayfield planted the flag, right?
Yes. Oh, everybody was so mad, and it ruined the vibe of a beautiful wedding. But I'll never forget that.
So that's one of the things, looking ahead for 2024. I'm sure it is the same for Ole Miss, but State's 2024 schedule is done. They have 4 non-conference games. One of these teams is getting bought out.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that going to be? Is it Arizona State? Do you want to play 10 Power 5 games? Or you try to buy out Utah State or UMass? They're not going to buy out the FCS game. I guarantee that stays. So are you going to buy out your series with all the rest of your Power 5 teams?
Yeah, play Arizona State. Buy out Utah State.
10 Power 5 games in a year.
Come on, man. It's Arizona State.
I mean, I like to consider Arizona State. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Might have to
Who's
deal
Ole
with
Miss got
Jaden
in
Rashad if he doesn't
2024?
hit the portal.
Who?
You're not wrong. Who's Ole Miss at in 2024? They have
Wake?
Furman, Middle Tennessee. They're at Wake Forest, and Georgia Southern. One of those games is getting bought out.
Well, and then you know what else is on Ole Miss's future schedule?
USC.
There's a home and home with Southern
Yeah.
Cal in the relatively
Don't
near
think y'all are going to
future.
see that.
That's not going anywhere. Watch.
Oh,
I don't
10
think
Power
that
5
one's gonna
games.
go. Obviously now got multiple bands. Not now. I just didn't know that Kansas State did Wabash Cannonball. I mean, there's no. I mean, copying is a thing. There's a popular. I mean, we heard Tommy trumpets from bands all over the place this year. Immediately after the Mets made that popular during the baseball season. I would move for the Ole Miss band to add Wabash Cannonball to its repertoire. They need to freshen some things up in their lineup of music.
They do.
I think that's one they should add. And who cares if you steal it from somebody else? It's cool. Do it. I mean, it's not like visiting bands travel anymore, other than a small pet band that you can't hear, other than like once a year. So why not? In fact, I think they should survey the best songs that are played by bands in college football and just add them to their playlist. It's just my thought. As part of the exit agreement for Texas and Oklahoma, this is beautifully petty, by the way. Texas and Oklahoma will pay a combined $100 million to the conference, much of which will be distributed to the 8 Big 12 legacy universities to offset an expected decrease in their 2024 conference revenue. Sorry, UCF. Sorry, Cincinnati. Sorry, BYU. Sorry, Houston. We are going to do to you what Texas and Oklahoma have been doing to us for the last 30 years. We're taking a bigger piece of the pie, and we are making zero apologies for it. This is Texas and OU's penance for treating us so poorly for the last 3 decades. We made them agree to pay us more than they were getting because we were bigger and badder than them, and we could. And so now the 8 of us, who are legacy universities in the Big 12, are bigger than badder than you, and so we will be taking larger shares of the pie. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to stay in your current league. Capiche?
Good for them.
That's how I read that.
Yeah. Although maybe they should have pushed back against Texas sometimes, but either way. So the obvious question is, what does this mean for the schedule? And again, I am blown away at the number of people that just simply ignore reporting. And I'm not talking about fans. Fans miss stuff. Like, not everybody's on Twitter all day to see the breaking news. But I'm talking about people in our business. Like, On3 National, just like not being aware that Greg Sankey at multiple different times has said that they're doing away with traditional divisions. Did it again today for what it's worth. But, I mean, Sports Illustrated has broken that. Yahoo's written about it. The Athletic's written about it. Greg Sankey at multiple different points has talked about it. And still people are like, what are they going to do with divisions? How do you cover the sport and not know that? It's down to 2 options, 1+7. Stay at 8 conference games, 1+7, meaning you have 1 permanent opponent and 7 rotating opponents. That seems unlikely at this point. Or the 3+6, which is going to get voted on.
May I let you in on a little secret?
It's going to be 3+6.
It's going to be 9.
Yeah.
9 conference games?
Because
9 conference games.
Johnny Manziel. Because money, that's why. And you'll get 3 permanent opponents and 6 rotating opponents. It will not be pods. Ole Miss and Mississippi State will share each other and then have 2 different permanent opponents. They will not be in the same group. They will play each other, but that's it. I mean, it's been reported on a dozen times, and people still question, like, what's it going to be? It's going to be that. The question is, what are the teams going to be?
And for the record, I don't hate the pods idea.
I don't either.
I'm not sure why that was kind of kicked away and dismissed so quickly. You could go 4-team pods where you play the 3 teams in your pod every year, and then you play 4 teams from another pod, and then or 2, 2, and 2 from the other 3 pods, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the way you would
just
do
6 more games. They make it work, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess basically that's what's happening.
Kind
Not
of.
Exactly. But you're
You
not
just
going
sort
to
of
have
have your
a
own
group of 4
pod.
teams that play around robin
Right.
every year.
Right. Yeah. But you are sort of, in some instances, though. I mean, State and Ole Miss will be their own pod. They'll play each other every year and go from there.
Yeah.
Did like the pods, though. The pods was an interesting and cool
I did
idea.
like the pods idea. Like the best one I think I saw was the one that had State with Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. I thought that was a great pod.
I'm sure you did like that one. Ross Dellinger at Sports Illustrated, good friend of the show, took a stab at what the permanent opponents might look like. And I think Ross is doing more than just taking a stab. I think this is educated. I don't know that it's 100% accurate. I do think there's a little bit of horse trading that's still going on. but it's pretty close.
And remember, for Mississippi State, Jimbo Fisher, and he could have been full of it, but in this case, there'd be no reason to lie. He accidentally revealed, remember about this time last year, I think, was doing a media op and mentioned Mississippi State would be a team they'd play every year. And he said that like with authority, that I know that we'll be playing Mississippi State.
Who said
All
that?
right.
Jimbo. We talked about it.
That's right. Here's I won't necessarily read all 14 of them. Mississippi State, permanents, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Texas A&M. This is not official. It's not official. Don't hear this as official. This is a projection from Ross. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Kentucky, Texas A&M. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Vanderbilt. So in the case of Ole Miss and Mississippi State, their current Eastern Division permanent stays the same. And if you are a Bulldog fan or a Rebels fan, I don't think you got anything to complain about with those.
Nope.
No.
Take
LSU LSU is always going to be a tough game, but that's such a historical game that you want to keep it.
Yeah, you want to play LSU every year if you're Ole Miss.
You want to play LSU
history.
if you're an Ole Miss fan. Yeah.
Let's see some of the other ones. Alabama.
I can't wait. Oh, go ahead.
Auburn.
So I can't wait to tell the Alabama fans goodbye this fall. I don't want to see you back in this stadium for at least 5 years. Do not come back.
For Alabama, it's Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU.
Good.
I told y'all this morning, I really think they should create another matchup there. I think instead of LSU, they should give Alabama Texas.
I say give them Georgia.
I just feel like they're going to give Texas and Oklahoma, A&M and Arkansas and each other. And it's like, just come on, let's think outside the box a little bit here. Got a chance to create some interesting matchups. Give LSU to Oklahoma LSU every year. It's exciting.
I did, by the way, get a text message from a friend that said, since Ole Miss and LSU are likely to be permanent, can we mandate that Ole Miss wears powder blue helmets with red jerseys and gray pants for that game? So that you have the best uniform matchup in college football on an annual basis.
I mean, I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
By all means.
Yes. I don't know if Keith Carter is listening. I don't know if he could mandate that.
He's listening.
He might be, possibly. I don't know if he's in the business of telling Lane Kiffin what uniforms you're going to wear, but,
Well, the players pick those, but somebody needs to let the players know.
$9 million a year. You can tell him whatever you want.
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, we'll do a whole lot of give and take, but we're writing you a really big check, and I'm just telling you this is what you're going to wear for this game. What you do for the other 11 games, be my guest. It's fine.
Wear all the wacky camouflage you want.
This is what you are wearing when Ole Miss and LSU play each other. I don't think that's a bad
That's not unfair.
No. Texas. Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Arkansas.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, come on.
Arkansas gets Missouri, Texas, and Kentucky. Not a bad draw for Arkansas.
They should be happy.
Yeah, they
That's
should.
a good draw.
You know who else?
Hate that we're losing Arkansas Ole Miss, though.
Pretty darn good draw is Tennessee. Vanderbilt, Alabama, South Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they want to keep Alabama.
I'm a little surprised that they didn't keep Tennessee and Florida together.
Yeah. Or Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia's permanents are Auburn, Florida, and Kentucky. So the Deep South's oldest rivalry, the cocktail party in Kentucky. Florida gets this one's weird.
You just create a better matchup than Kentucky. You could.
Yeah. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Oklahoma.